Now we are.
It is 6:30 and I call this meeting to order. Please stand and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Winona City Council, and for the second time since March 2020 is being held in person with all members present. As we are no longer operating under state emergency procedures, votes will be conducted on a voice call rather than a roll call unless requested by a member. Tonight, I have an announcement recognizing Jim Martin, who will be retiring. The city wishes to recognize the service of ice arena maintenance worker Jim Martin, who retired on July 16th, 2021. Jim was officially hired by the city of Winona 5 years ago, but it should be noted that Jim operated and maintained the city-owned Bud King Ice Arena for over 20 years. To say Jim is meticulous about making ice is a gross understatement. Many may think that making ice is easy. Just cool the floor, dump water on it, freeze and smooth. That is not the approach Jim used. For many years, the rink floor was sand-based. Jim held together that system with weighted down pipes and a shoestring budget to create ice that was within 3/4 of an inch throughout the rink. The ice was perfect for hockey, figure skaters, youth, and adult players. Jim took pride in making the ice the focal point for anyone who had laced up skates. That attention to detail remained when the Hockey Association and the city of Winona giveth a concrete floor and tooketh away the sand floor. Jim inherited a space shuttle compared to the previous refrigeration system at Bud King. Yet one thing remained constant. We had the best ice. Jim carried over his detailed work in the summer when he mowed many acres of parkland. Again, many may have not recognized or known of Jim's attention to detail and the pride he took in making our parks look great. Jim retired on July 16th as Winona's most ardent supporter of hockey, and he has the Winona hockey tattoos to prove it. The city appreciates Jim Martin's 20+ years of service to the community, and we wish him a long, healthy, and happy retirement. Jim, I do have a certificate for you here. Come on up. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for the nice ice. All these
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I had tonight. City Manager Steve Sarvey.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to thanks everyone who showed up. Bunch of great events over the weekend, starting Friday, the street dance and the music. And we had outdoor movie and music down at the band shell. So great events and lots of folks showed up. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now ask the city clerk to take the roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Here.
Councilman Young.
Here.
Moeller.
Here.
Alexander.
Here.
Iden. Borzakowski.
Here.
Rapinski.
Here.
Reminder that the public is not allowed to speak during these agenda items unless you have a request before the council, and I have given you permission to speak.
Under the petitions, requests, and communications, item 3.1 is the appointment to the Planning Commission of Paul Schulmeyer.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment.
Thank you, Eileen. Motion from Eileen.
I will second that.
We have a second from Steve. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
This says the term is until the end of October 2021. Is this a term that ended early and we're filling it?
Correct. The Brad Ballard resigned from his seat early.
Okay.
So this appointment is just to fill out that term, and then he would be up for reappointment in October.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.2 is the Hamilton Street closure request for August 21st.
Move to approve the street closure.
Second.
We have a motion by George, a second from Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.3 is a street closure request by Habitat for Humanity for August 28th.
I'd move approval. Second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mayor.
Yes, Eileen.
Just wanted to say I'm very excited about this. Habitat has worked very hard on this location and it's a really beautiful home and great project. So, and happy it's right by their offices. I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eileen. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.4 is Poots Tavern Street closure request for Saturday, July 24th, and it would be Caramona from 7th to the alley.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.5 is a block party request by Chi Alpha for August 27th.
I'd move approval of their request. Second.
We have a motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.6 is the King Street closure request for August 28th.
I move approval of that request. Second.
Motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Go ahead, Michelle.
It's so nice to see the block parties back.
Yes.
That's awesome to
Yes.
say. It's very nice.
This is my block and I'm super excited to have this again. We're switching organizers a little bit, but I will welcome the entire community to show up to my block party and you can ask me questions all day long.
City council members one at a time.
Yes, only two at a time. Yes, we have to
No
obey the
quorums.
laws. Yep, absolutely. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.7 is a request for stop signs on Bierce and Hilbert with the intersections of 3rd Street.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to introduce the attached ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Any discussion?
I do.
Go ahead, Steve.
Brian, if I could ask you, we talked a little bit about this today. Is Brian here? Oh, Brian.
Ryan is.
Brian. Brian, sorry. I talked to Brian about this. I understand we're not able to cut back vegetation there on that corner. I drove that corner and checked it out. We don't own that vegetation on the golf course. I understand.
Yes.
Okay, that's not an option. What have been the accident results there? Have there been accidents? Have there been?
There's been no accidents there the last 5 years.
Okay. Where did this request come from? Do we know?
This came from a resident who lived at 3rd and Hilbert intersection.
Okay. I'm reluctant to support stop signs when there's been no accidents. And not that we have to wait for an accident. I get that. I'm torn on this. And I hate to impede traffic. I only want to do so when it's warranted. I understand this comes with engineering's support. Can I ask why?
Basically it's a blind intersection. I mean, that vegetation, you're coming down Bierce, you don't see anybody on 3rd Street. To not have a stop sign, you need to see a vehicle 140 feet before you get to the intersection. You're lucky if you're getting 60 feet there. So that meets one of the warrants to put a stop sign in at the intersection.
Bierce is the intersection by the golf course?
Correct, yes.
I'm in agreement with that one. I drive that somewhat frequently, actually. And if you're from there and you're used to it, you have to stop. You fly around the corner, it's going to cost you someday.
Yeah.
The other intersection, the reason there isn't enough sight line, is that because of the foundry that's there?
Yes, correct. Same thing, it's a site distance issue because of, I think it's Alliant casting there.
Can't move the
Can't move
foundry.
the building.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I will reluctantly support this because of sightlines, and there isn't anything we can do. It's vegetation and it's a building, and both are out of our control.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 3.8 is a request for handicap parking stalls to be added on Framling Parkway.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to introduce the attached ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Michelle, a second from Eileen. Any discussion?
Mayor Aaron here. I just have a question.
ahead.
Where would those be located at exactly?
We would put 2 on each end of Cal Framling. So 2 on the very east end and 2 on the very west end.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Under new business, item 5.1 is the We Are Water exhibit statement of interest.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve this request.
Second.
Motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Any discussion? Go ahead, Steve.
Quick question, John. I see you. If you could answer a quick question for me, says most of the way down, granted, let's see, if the city were awarded the opportunity to have the exhibit, the city would be granted $10,000 to help administer the exhibition. We don't foresee costs exceeding that. We don't have any nickels in this.
Mayor and council, that money would be for developing kind of site-specific exhibit pieces, so to the Winona area. So that would basically be our budget for what we could develop in terms of educational materials or kind of add-on events when it's here. So that's it's not the only real cost to the city is staff time to coordinate and
All right,
plan that.
just need clarification. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 5.2 is the Bluff Traverse 2021 Legacy Grant Application.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
We have a motion from Michelle, a second from Eileen. We do have Alicia Lano available for questions.
Mayor and council, before Alicia does just a short presentation, I do want to just, again, appreciate the motion second. Want to clarify though, just for further clarification about the funding. So this is funding that was approved by previous council. It was a $606,000 amount. And that was for the city to acquire some land, to have matching in their legacy applications, and to actually do trail work in the Bluff Traverse outside of any granting agency. So again, I think the request for action maybe speaks for itself, but just want to clarify, this is not new funding. This is money that's been allocated previously, but we are required when we do the legacy grant application to get a reaffirmation from council that this is the direction we want to go. So with that, Alicia is going to give us a brief presentation on the Bluffs Traverse as a whole, because it relates to the next council item action as well.
Excellent. Good evening, Mayor and Council. For those of you who are new, just a quick refresher, the Bluffs Traverse, the grand scheme of it is to connect our 3 parks, Sugarloaf, Garvin, and Bluffside Park. So that's the general gist of what we're trying to do with the Bluffs Traverse. So not only are we trying to build a beautiful recreation area, but we're also doing conservation as well as part of the Bluffs Traverse project. So this is a map that we must submit with as part of our designation application and our grant application. So we have edited it this year to show what we are applying for this year. So I just wanted to highlight the 2 agenda items here. So right now I'll be presenting on the details of the legacy grant application that we're doing this year for 2021. And then the other item is the trail easement, which is the next agenda item. So I just wanted to showcase that so you can see what an important part that trail easement is to the entire Bluffs Traverse. So as you can see on the right-hand side is Sugarloaf Park. And we eventually would like to connect that to Garvin Heights Park. So that trail easement is right in the middle of those two. So it's a key link to connecting those two parks. And then eventually Garvin to Bluffside Park. So our grant this year is all in Bluffside Park, as you can see. So this is the International Mountain Bike Association trail design map. This is a draft. So things can change in this map, but I just wanted to highlight for you what we are applying for this year for the grant application. So as you can see on the right-hand side, I believe you have this map in front of you. The trail is trail number 116, letters A, B, C, and D. And then on the left-hand side is trail 204, and then a parking area is what we're also applying for. So trail 116, which was on the right-hand side of your map, is going to be an intermediate bike optimized trail. I'm really excited for this trail because it'll take a little pressure off of the low rollers, which is a very common trail for people who are starting off at Holsinger to use, and sometimes people access it from Woodlawn Cemetery as well. It's a nice wide trail, highly used by runners, people with strollers. It's just a good multi-use trail. So we want to try to prevent mountain bikers from flying down that trail and causing user conflict. So we want to produce a nice bike optimized trail for those users to get them off of the low rollers as much as possible. So the cost of that one is around $215. And then trail 204 is another kind of key. I'm calling it a connector trail because it's really connecting two different zones of Bluffside Park. For those of you who know the two towers up on top of the bluff at the end of Windcrest Drive, we would like to connect those trails with our new trails that we will be developing most likely next year with the legacy grant funding that we received this year. So this is a key connector. If we don't have this trail, what will happen is people will end up riding on Windcrest Drive, and we don't want that to happen. We want them to be on a trail and feel safe there. And then we will also be building a trailhead right there as well to connect the brand new trail that we'll be building this fall and trail 204. So the trail 204 will roughly cost $120,000, and then a trailhead will be $169,000. So overall, that total budget for all three of those items is $504,000. So in order to get that $504,000, we would like to apply for the legacy grant again. And then in order to get more points from this grant, it's all point based. So we want to get more points, and to do that, we need to give them a higher match. That's how we get more points. So we are recommending a 20% match, which is the same as we did last year. And we did receive that grant last year. So we'd like to do the same thing this year. So if you do your math, 20% of $504,000 is roughly $101,000. We rounded a little bit. And then, so the legacy fund would chip in the $403,000. So that's your total budget of $504,000. So if you concur with a match of $101,000, the motion is to approve the resolution.
We do have a motion and a second on that one already. Are there any questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Alicia.
Item 5.3 is the Bluffs Traverse Trail easement for East Garvin Heights.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to authorize staff to negotiate for that trail easement with the new purchaser of the lot,
Second.
whomever that may be.
We have a motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
And item 5.4 is the 2022 Comprehensive Plan Consultant Recommendation of HKGI.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve that appointment.
Second.
We have a motion by Michelle, second from Eileen. Any discussion? None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
Item 7.1 is council concerns.
We'll start with Councilmember Borzakowski, please.
Okay, thank you. Once I get flipped back here, I have so many notes tonight. I would just like to find out what is the status of the Hamilton Railroad crossing. I know they think there was some kind of a movement on there a little bit, talking with Brian, just if you can just get an update as to where that is. And then also I would like to congratulate and say happy birthday to Windcraft Corporation in Winona. They are 60 years old. Congratulations to them and to Dick Pope, and thank them for all that they do and have done for our community.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank you.
George. Councilmember Alexander.
Just a reminder that we have two big events coming up at the end of the month, the Schmingus Dingus Day and March of the Pomeranians. There's still a lot of opportunities to join the coloring competition that the library is hosting for us, and come on down and meet the mistress of the march with her pink poodle. It should be a fun 2 days set up down at Sobieski Pavilion. And then I'm gonna take a page from George and say congratulations to my parents on 51-year anniversary yesterday.
Heck yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Michelle. Councilmember Mueller.
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Young.
Pass, I'm good.
Very good. Councilmember Rapinski.
No concerns at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then moving on to the,
Oh, go ahead.
The entrance to Dick's Marine is open and it's properly lit.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Thank you.
I got about 5.3 feet when I went through the other day. So we're good. About 2 more feet. Excellent. Thank you, George.
on the consent agenda, there are 3 items. Approval of the minutes from July 6th, the final adoption of an ordinance to amend the mobile food unit ordinance, and 1 claim against the city by Tim Tucker.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion from Michelle, second from Eileen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
The time being 6:52 and there being no further business to come before the council this evening, we do now adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.